Welcome to Live with Chatufa. Thank you so much, family, for those that continue to support this platform. This is our sister platform that we are bringing up. And for those that are always standing and supporting this platform, we really salute you and thank you so much. Continue to remember to subscribe, put comments, put your likes, so that this channel can also be competing with the rest of the channels. We are looking at the politics in Kenya. Kenyan former vice president's car attacked and fled from angry rioters, right? So it's very, very interesting what we saw happening in Kenya, where the former vice president was attacked by a mob, and people were throwing chairs and stones and hitting the car, and he had to flee for his life. All that we are saying is that politicians must learn. This is a lesson to politicians that, you know what, you are not going to be in power forever. This man used to be in power, and he used to think that he was untouchable and invincible. He used to think that he was some small god. He could do what he wants to anyone at any point in time, but not knowing that you can never be in power forever. There is always a time that you will become some former something. But after you become some former something, how are you going to relate with the people that were under you during the time of your days? And that's exactly the very same thing that we are seeing African leaders forgetting, that it is also good for you to have a good relationship with the people during the time that you are sitting on that seat of authority, so that in the event that one of the 5 days you are out, you can still relate with them. You can still be able to go back to them again, and you are acceptable. And that is one thing that lacks with our politicians. Our politicians in Africa, they always want to flee from their countries. They will end up dying in other countries because they cannot continue to live in their own respective countries because of the way they conducted themselves, the evil they did, the crimes they committed. We are seeing this happening also with the ZANU-PF and Emmerson Mnangagwa. And we are telling them this every day, that you need to be careful how you are relating to the people today. You still remember what Boko Duma said, where one of the interviews he did with Sofim Kwena, and he says to the liberation parties, why do you want to lead angry oppositions? If you lead an angry opposition because you are abusing them, you are arresting them, you are abducting them, killing them, what happens in the day that they win the elections and you are out of power? Would you want to have an angry opposition coming into power? And when they start to do what you were doing to them, are you going to be okay? We saw Lungu crying foul while he was not being victimized, of course. The police only telling him that he could not have his way. He could not do what he wanted to do. And he started complaining and wanting to call it victimization, wanting to blame President Hichilema of Zambia. And yet, it was just because he felt bad that he could not have it his way, the way that he used to have when he was a dictator in Zambia, and when he was making life very difficult for many, many people in Zambia, including the current president, Hichilema, whom he arrested a couple of times and victimized him, banning his rallies and things like that. This is exactly the same thing that we are talking about. So a video, an interesting video really, that we saw of the mob attacking the former vice president of Kenya, and he had to flee for his life. The car was badly damaged, and the people were using all tools that they could get hands to, all weapons that they could get their hands to, and attacked him viciously. And he was very lucky really to be alive. Otherwise, they were really going for his head. Right now, if he had not fled and successfully managed to do so, we could be talking of a different outcome right now. But we thank God that he escaped and he still remains okay. But politicians, be warned. These are some of the things that will happen to many politicians who forget that power is temporary. And one of the days you'll be out of power and you might find yourself in a serious problem. So let me just play for you the video. It's a very short video of what happened to the former vice president of Kenya.
na rambirambi ikaendelea vizuri mpaka aliyekuwa mbunge wa huku.
So otherwise, this is what happened. So that's exactly the thing that we are saying, that, you know, politicians must not forget that one of the fine days, their crimes are going to catch up with them. Whatever that you commit when you are still in political office and think that you are protected forever, you should remember that one of the days things will turn around and you might find yourself at the mercy of the hands of the people. And we've seen quite many of his cars there, they've been destroyed, and he had to run for his life. And like we said, we thank God that at least he managed to survive that one. So that's exactly what is going to happen to ZANU-PF people who are today speaking like some little gods and forgetting that power is temporary. Power shall expire. One of these fine days, the very same thing that we are seeing right now is going to be happening to individuals that are in ZANU-PF. Mark my words, they should write this down. They will remember these words we are speaking today. When we speak like this today, they think that we are just hallucinating. We are just saying is here to stay. ZANU-PF will rule forever. And even some fake prophets of theirs, like Wanayubet Angel, saying that ZANU-PF will rule and Mnangagwa will rule until he dies. You see, those are lies. Those are things that people forgetting that there is God in heaven who controls times and seasons. And when he says a season is over, it's over. When he says somebody's time is over, it is over. There is no one who can fight that and win. And that's exactly what we are talking about. Very, very interesting, the situation that we have seen happening in Kenya. And let us continue to be praying for change to happen, for our own politicians to meet karma. Karma must knock on their doors. They must pay for everything that they've done against, especially the Zimbabwean people, when it comes to the issue of ZANU-PF. Otherwise, let's continue to pray and stand in the gap for the freedom of the Zimbabwean people is coming, and God is in it. Thank you so much, family, for joining me on this show. We still have another show coming later on, so stay tuned, don't go away. Remember, as always, to put your subscription, your like, your share, and also put a comment and tell us what you think about what happened to this vice president of Kenya. Thank you so much, and you are blessed.